What's up, bitches? How's it going? I'm your host, Migdalia Bonilla. Welcome to another episode of Life with Migdalia. Y'all, I got to experience my first ever tornado evacuation. And let me tell you something. That shit, I never want to do again. And I know you're probably thinking, but Migdalia, you live in Kansas, the tornado alley, blah, blah, blah. You're going to experience it more. I don't care. It made me miss Michigan so much more than I already did because I was home, me and Milo, just chilling at home. Girlfriend's at work, won't get off until midnight, here with her dad, and all of a sudden, like, I'm playing video games, whatever, and he comes knocking on the door. He goes, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" And I was like, what? And he was like, "Yeah, the weather's getting worse." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Yeah, there's like a tornado like 10 miles away. We gotta go now." So I was like, no fucking way, no shot. Mind you, I'm in the middle of a mission while I'm playing Red Dead Redemption, trying to do this because, you know, in case the house is still standing, whatever. Like, I wanna get it. Priorities, whatever. So I finished the thing. He's trying to get the car situated. Like, it was within, I don't know, a 3-minute time span. I get Milo's leash on. I put on my ring that my girlfriend got me because it's important. And then I grab my laptop and my computer case and my iPad and whatever else, phone, purse, yada yada, and we get in his Jeep. We are going north. The weather's getting bad. Like, we're listening to not even the sirens go off, but like the weather report, and it just sounds so creepy, like an automated message, kind of like The Walking Dead, like there's an apocalypse happening. So fucking scary. And we're just like trying to get ahead of the storm or the opposite way that it's going. So it was like 10 miles away, and then I think a few minutes in the car when we were driving north, it was like 3 miles away, and just watching this YouTube, you know, weather thing, just them being on top of it. It was scary. And he was saying how, my girlfriend's dad was saying how he hasn't had to do that in a couple of years. Like, and they don't have a storm cellar. And I was like, what's up with everyone around here, like, not having storm cellars? I mean, their neighbor does. And it floods really bad around here. So that risk of it flooding and the shelter becoming useless is more likely than that. But I don't know. That shit was not fun. I do not recommend it. No. We were in the car for, I want to say 2 hours. 2 hours we were in the car. And we had to, like, we were meeting her other family somewhere because they live like 30 minutes away. And we were on our way, like, heading back to the house when the weather people or whatever, the live stream, said that it touched down in the town that we were, like, next to, because we're 16, like, minutes away from the actual town. Yeah, so that was cool. That was what an adventure. Oh, God. And I'm over here just freaking out because my girlfriend's not with me. And I'm panicking. And Milo's in the back seat, freaking out too. It was so great. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, also having good news. I don't want to actually, like, say my good news because I'm really trying to practice, like, don't talk about it until it actually happens. But I just want to share that good things are happening, and I want to project that energy out into the universe and to you guys that good things are coming. Good things are coming for you. You just have to think positively. Everything's going to be okay. If you're in a rut right now, like, everything's going to be fine. Life has a way of working itself out. Everything is perfect and divinely timed. Now, I'm trying to practice the manifestation thing. I'm pretty sure I said this last episode, but I'm trying to get a handle on it before I actually share a method that actually works rather than, you know, spewing off bullshit and guesses. Now, I will say that this is me saying this one thing is like the second time that something positive came out of it. So I will explain it in the future when, maybe a third thing happens when I say it. So who knows? Now, I've talked about this topic so many times throughout this podcast, or should I say my podcast transitions, rebranding, whatever the fuck. Abandonment. Yeah. But I don't want this to be like, more like the victim mentality. Yes, saying that correctly. I don't want this to be more like the victim mentality because I'm kind of just sick of talking about abandonment issues. And it's one of those things that I've kind of just outgrown, but I'm not saying that somebody else doesn't need it because that's the purpose of, podcasting for other people to relate to. But if you're one of those individuals like myself who have not gotten over it, but accepted it, come to terms with, really just healed in a way from especially the parent neglect, abandonment issues, because there's different types, friends, relationship, family, just whatever else. So, that being said, and I realized this like a little bit ago, the memories that I do have of my childhood are very few and far between. And I don't know if that's really a trauma response because something, other things have happened within my childhood. But my memories really stop by, I want to say like age of 7. Like I can barely remember anything before the age of 7. Now, you get your memories as a kid around age 3. I have like other, here or there, biological mother, other memories with like my maternal grandmother. Like I have them. I know I do because something will happen and maybe it's just like getting older and I'll remember something. But for the deep, like, part of it, if somebody asked me, oh, how was your childhood before the age of 7? I really couldn't tell you. Like, I could not sum it up within, a simple, like, oh yeah, it was a good childhood, blah, 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 blah. Like, I have these memories, and abandonment is one of those deep and most painful experiences that a person can go through because it always begs the question of like, okay, but why would they do this? Why? Especially when it happens in childhood, it's more than just a parent leaving. It's just that wound that really makes you question your whole entire existence of why am I here if they didn't want me? Why did they leave me? Was I not good enough? Was it something that I did? Did I say something as a kid? Was I a bad kid? Like, was I too much and they just didn't want me? Like, what? Why? Why couldn't I be this for them to make me stay? And at the end of the day, especially getting older, you come to realize it's not about you. It's about them. Like, those are their choices. Like, my mother was mostly an adult, kind of. But there's also some grace to it. Like, I want to be able to give her grace, okay? My parents had me when they were 15 years old. If you were 15 and listening to this, you, in your right mind, would be like, I'm still doing this shit. Like, I'm in high school. Like, I'm barely even in high school. But to think of myself, like, I'm 27 right now, to think of me having a 12-year-old right now in my life is crazy. Because your full brain, like, you don't technically fully develop until you are 25 years old. Mentally, you don't fully develop until you're 25 years old. So, this is where I'll have grace for my mother and my parents. Like, my mom and dad. Like, I can't even imagine having a 12-year-old right now. Like, disciplining and everything else. And I feel even more, I shouldn't even say I feel bad. It's just like, I have more of an understanding now as I've gotten older that my parents were doing the best that they could. Like, my mom and dad, my mom didn't ask for this. She, my dad had me at 15 and she met him on a dating website. And, one of the things she said was, no, I don't want someone with like a child from a previous relationship. Valid, very valid, because a lot of those are very messy. And that was her ground. But then she met my dad and then she met me and, her life changed. So in the span of like a year, she went from being independent, having her own apartment, having her own job, like having her career set, like doing all of this stuff, and then boom, having a relationship with a 12-year-old. Let me rephrase. Having a relationship and like with a 12-year-old. Like that could give you whiplash so hard. And then my biological mother, who had me at 15, like, I understand you still want your life. You still want to do these things in your life. Like, when I was 7, I think she was like technically a year older than my dad. When I was 7, she would have been 22. Yeah. When you're 22, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know what you want. You may think you do. You may think that. And this is kind of coming in terms like, I'll give my girlfriend shit because she's 23. There's a 4-year age difference between us. And I'm always like, I can't wait for your frontal cortex to be fully developed. Like, I'm so excited for it. Because it's night and day. But as a full-grown adult who is almost 30, I have been able to see a different perspective given my age and my life experiences, and trying to reflect on the trauma that I endured as a child. It still begs the question of like, okay, but why would you do that? And I know that when I have my own kids someday, I'm going to be able to be like, okay, but why would you have this little tiny person in your arms and not do everything in your power to be the best version of yourself to take care of this little tiny baby who can't even make their own thought yet, can't even speak, needs you for their survival. And I know I'm going to ask that question. I know like that epiphany is going to happen to me when I give birth. Like I just know. Or even when I get pregnant, like, this is crazy. And I know that technically the only reason my biological mother got pregnant, and I want to say this too, because it was, I shouldn't say it like, because I don't remember being told this. My dad ended up telling me this because I had said it as a little kid, and I don't remember saying it. But I think in the Puerto Rican culture, like, family is very important, and I understand that family is very important, so they really tried to thrust the idea upon, like, having children at a young age, because that's what girls are supposed to do, realistically. But it's like an old mindset. So my grandmother had told me, allegedly, that when I'm 16 or whatever, it is my duty to be pregnant, to find someone to get me pregnant and like start a family. Now, that's like not word for word, pretty sure what I said, but that's like the idea of, because it would make sense as to why my family drilled so many times and put me on birth control at a young age to not get pregnant. Like, they drilled that into my head. So if my grandmother was saying that to me at a young age. I can only imagine what the fuck she was saying to my biological mother, right? Like, 1 + 1 is 2. So maybe that also stems from that reason. And I know my sister, Sydney, she has spoken with our biological mother. And there are some things that, may be true, maybe not true. I don't know, okay? It's not really my business. But I don't know what my biological mother has been through. Now, I'm not making excuses. I've just come from a new perspective of these thoughts. And when I first did this podcast, or like Happy Abandonment, I was so angry. But I also started this when I was like 23. Okay? I didn't know a lot. I knew a lot, but I also didn't. Like, we all grow, learn, whatever, but I was technically still, not able to understand different perspectives. It was more so morally an issue. Like, I couldn't understand the moral aspect, and it just took me a while. Like, would I ever abandon my child? Absolutely not. Never, 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 never would I abandon my child. What she did was wrong, but maybe she didn't really have any other choices. Maybe she kept getting it, sucked into the wrong crowd, or couldn't really make anything of herself and really support a child or multiple children. Now, the next part holds absolutely no excuses, because being pregnant and, doing drugs and drinking all have those effects. Now, one of my half-sisters, allegedly, has mental issues. Like, she's on the spectrum because of the damage that was done while my mother was pregnant. And from my understanding, this child was addicted to coke or crack or whatever, was having withdrawals as soon as she, came out of the womb. And that's where her parental rights got taken away from her. And one time I mentioned this, like, at the age of 22, when she texted me one time, and I went on a whole full fucking tangent because I was upset and mad and whatever. And I don't know, they just always go about, like, how my family brainwashed me. And should I have said what I said? Probably not, because it was just not worth it. But at the end of, like, my little tangent or whatever, she goes, because at first it was, like, nice and sweet, like, hey, this is your mother, like, I really want, blah, blah, I'm writing a book about my story, and yada, 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 and all this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And then, I just went into, like, a full thing about it, and very offensive. I told her that she was a waste of space and all this other, shit. But at the end of that, she goes, does that make you feel better? Like, that you got that off your chest? Like, it was very 180. Full 180 of her attitude. And then at the end of the video, she was like, oh, I'm going to sue you for your name because you don't deserve to be named after someone, so beautiful, because, she's ugly, or, like, I'm ugly or whatever. Like, okay. But that is her, like, those are her choices, okay? Those are mine. But it is my responsibility to fix my own damage, my own perspective on things. And, if she's doing better, great. If she's not my problem. Because at the end of the day, she's technically not my mother. Like, I have a mom, and I don't see her. I just, more so for the sake of this podcast, so people don't get confused, I just say, oh yeah, my mother or my biological mother, rather than calling her my egg donor, which is what I usually call her. But the aspect of it is, how it affected me as a child. And then I want to get into like other people abandoning you, but I think a lot of this goes hand in hand as well. Like a parental abandonment is rarely simple, okay? There are usually multiple or overlapping reasons as to why a parent could leave, financial struggles, some people don't think. And here's my opinion. I fully believe that if you cannot afford having children and raising children, you should not have children. If you cannot afford them, you should not have them. Because why are you bringing a child into this world when you're just going to constantly struggle? You know what I mean? But like, oh, I want to have sex. Okay, use protection. Oh, the condom broke. Okay, then don't have sex. Like, it's really not that difficult, and sex isn't everything. Also, where was I going with this? A lot of people aren't going to be happy that, me saying this, but I will stand behind it. Like, your child should not struggle because you are also struggling. Like, that's not fair to them. And it just brings up so many issues relating to not being able to financially take care of your children. Because kids are fucking expensive. They are expensive. And in this economy, it's even worse. That's why a lot of people are not having kids. Because, kids are expensive. Hospital bills. They don't have insurance. Mind you, the whole lonely male epidemic or whatever the fuck's going on. I don't really care about that. But the world sees women in such a different light, and this patriarchy is so fucking annoying that I'm so ready for a matriarchy, because women could get so much shit done more than men. And then, like, I always have to say, like, it's not all men. We're not saying that, but it is a good majority of them. And, if you have a good guy, a good partner, whomever who treats you right, like, snatch them up. Snatch them up, because, the good guys are the good guys for a reason. And, yeah. But going back, like, the financial struggles, okay? A lot of people can't take care of their children with basic needs, like the stability, and give them the opportunities for their kids. Sometimes they have the mental health challenges or substance abuse, depression, addiction, or other untreated issues. Like, I know that my biological mother was very much into drugs. Like, there's a police report where me and my other half-sister were at a house, and the cops had to bust down the doors to get into this house, and her and I were running around in our diapers and or like naked. How old was she? I think she was like, maybe she was like two or three. Who knows? And at that point, maybe I was like 5. Yeah, 4 or 5. Because there's not a big age gap between me and her. But there were people in this house passed out from drugs, and then they ended up finding her list of people who owe her money or some shit. I don't know. But this is the part where I'm like, I don't remember my childhood, because I don't remember that. At 5 years old, I should remember that, but I don't. So I don't know if something like super traumatic ended up happening that I just blocked it out. I have no idea, unfortunately. And maybe she did suffer from depression and she really didn't, want to. There's this house that I remember vividly, okay? I vividly remember this house. And in our bedroom, like, she didn't even have a bed frame. It was just a mattress on the floor. And I would be squished up against the wall. She would be laying in the middle, and then her boyfriend or whoever the fuck was that night would sleep in the bed with us. I experienced being in the shower with her and one of her boyfriends, like sitting on the floor. See, I vividly remember that part. Sitting on the floor of the shower, playing in the water. I think I was around 4 years old. But yeah, she would have me sleep in the same bed as her boyfriends, or, bring me in the shower with them. And I would listen to them have sex in the bedroom. Like this was actually in a different house. The shower and this part were in a separate house. The sleeping in the same bed with them was at another house. But they would just put a curtain, like pin a curtain or a blanket over the door frame of the bedroom, and I would just be watching Scooby-Doo or Dora or whatever and listening to my mother moan from the other side of this blanket. And I didn't know what the hell it was. I couldn't tell you. I was like 4 or 5 years old. Actually, I think I was 5, because I kind of remember my first day of school, walking down the driveway to get to the school bus. What else do I remember? I barely went to school. I barely remember kindergarten. I kind of remember sitting in kindergarten class and having my teacher read us The Pigeon Drives the Bus or some shit. And, I missed a majority of first grade because at that point I was living with my grandmother and she couldn't really take me to and from school, so I missed a lot of first grade. Had to repeat it, didn't learn how to read until second grade. Oh, that's my fucking phone on TikTok. So it was just a very messed up childhood, and unfortunately, I don't remember a huge portion of it. But, maybe the whole intergenerational trauma played a role in that too. Many parents typically repeat the cycles of neglect or abandonment they experience. Overwhelming stress, lack of support, which I don't think that was it, because my grandmother seemed like she took us in, like, very easily, very quickly. So I don't really think that was it. Or maybe she just had emotional neglect. Sometimes parents, they could be physically present but emotionally unavailable, which can leave to, feel just as devastating as them leaving, Understanding why a parent leaves doesn't excuse it, but it can help us separate our self-worth from their choices. And when we as children experience the abandonment, whether it be emotional or actually physically leaving, it just affects us in all aspects. Like I said, feeling unlovable or not enough. We will have difficulty trusting adults or forming those secure attachments. We typically will have heightened anxiety or fear of being alone, or just the emotional dysregulation. A lot of behavioral struggles such as acting out or withdrawing, and that was a lot of my issues. Like, I was a very problem child. Like, I had a lot of behavioral issues when I first went to live with my mom and dad. Like, lying, stealing, lying, stealing, overall, manipulation. I kind of just, more so, I shouldn't say I was hungry all the time. I wasn't an overweight child, but I remember going over to babysitters' houses or people who were watching me for the evening and just wanting food, to the point where they would ask my parents, hey, are you feeding her? Um, I don't know. I don't know what the reason was. Um, you know, long-term effects can be we have low self-esteem or just the internalized shame, a lot of mental health challenges like depression and anxiety. We have those difficulties forming healthy relationships or get into those awful cycles and manifest the fear of like intimacy or avoidance of being close with someone. Our coping patterns can be like codependency, risk taking, or self harm. And I think as a generation, we are doing a lot better to heal from the generational traumas rather than keep them, within us. Because yes, they may have done the damage, but it's our responsibility to fix it as adults. And there's a moments in time where like even when the parents like do come back or like want something or like you chase after them because you're curious or like asking for a question of why, I think that's okay too. Like it's okay to have those questions of like why did you leave? Or trying to find them and ask them the questions of like, why did you leave? What happened? And I think it's even more heartbreaking when there's situations of, your parent left, one of the parents left, your other parent to be, single and whatever else, but then they go and they start their own family. And I think that's also very heartbreaking. But maybe they had their reasonings, maybe, they had their excuses, but if you're one of those people that really want to form a relationship with your, parent who neglected you, you always have that option. I made that decision a long time ago that I didn't want anything to do with her. Like, I don't want a relationship. I don't really care what she has to say. I don't really have any questions. Like, I can just, not need them. But other people is different. So you can ask those questions. If you have the option to, go and meet them and ask them and, form that relationship with them, you should if it feels right to you. If it doesn't feel right, obviously you shouldn't do it. But everyone's situation is different. And you have to make that unconscious decision for yourself. Nobody can do it for you. And a lot of people will ask me, well, why? Maybe she changed. Maybe she's this. Maybe she's that. I don't care. I don't care to know. I don't care enough to find out. I've had so many like harassment issues with her in the past. Being an adult, it's just not worth it to me. And there's the healing path, like moving moving on from it and finally just deciding that you're okay not knowing, not having the closure. And sometimes it's tough. Like, it is tough. But whether you want them back in your life or not, the healing is possible. If you want distance, we just have to accept the reality that their choices are not a reflection of your worth. Because at the end of the day, like, it's their choice, their own decision that didn't affect you. And let me say this. You were a child. Okay? Let me say, Milo. Oh my god, he just won't stop drinking water. Milo! I understand that he's thirsty, but goddamn. Can you, I don't know, chill out. Get your lamb. Go, lay down. Like, you were a child. We were children. We did not have any responsibilities. We were somebody else's responsibility at that point in time. Like, we needed them for our survival. And it is not our fault. It is not your fault. It's as simple as that, and you can't blame yourself for doing this. Even if they said, like, you were a bad child, you did this, you did that, like you were too much. That's an excuse to make you feel bad and probably gain control over you in the situation, to leave it at that. Just know it is not about you, it is about them. It will always be about them. Some parents will even do like the whole thing of they only come back when they need something or need money, and it drives me absolutely crazy. Like, why are you as an adult coming to your child because you need money or you need something from them? Like, nothing drives me more crazy. And if the excuse is, well, I birthed you, so you should give me all the money that you have, blah, blah, blah. Like, I brought you into this world. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you did. Somebody holding that over your head is not a good enough reason. I'm sorry. It's not a good enough reason. Just because you brought them into this world does not mean that you get to dictate their life, their financial status, their relationships, their this, their that, their whatever. No. No. And especially if you neglected them and haven't been around. Like, that's a big, huge no-no. Like, that, there's nothing more that pisses me off than that. Like, it really gets under my skin. But, anytime somebody is like that with their biological parent, I'm like, you have the choice whether or not you want to cut that off. Like, that is your decision. I'm not going to make it for you, but clearly they are an energy vampire and they are sucking you dry. This isn't good for you. This is not good for you. You can make that decision. And yeah, it could suck. It could be difficult. You're going to get that backlash. But wouldn't you rather have peace than the constant, they're texting me again, or they fucking need something? Like, your parent should not be your burden. It drives me crazy that people just accept that. So, understand that they don't have any leverage over you no matter how much they say they do, okay? It's a lie. It's a poor excuse. It means absolutely nothing. They're using that for control over you. And distancing yourself can gain you that peace, okay? Focus on self-parenting, nurturing yourself, creating security, and building those important supportive relationships. And therapy is also a thing. Therapy, is amazing. Journaling and always setting those healthy boundaries. But if you're this person who wants reconnection, approach slowly, with caution and clear boundaries. And I did this with one of my uncles on my mother's side. He invited me over for Thanksgiving. I don't know if I said this in a previous episode. He invited me over for Thanksgiving a few years ago. Like, his fiance and them were hosting Thanksgiving, and it was a whole thing, and he found me on Facebook, and I was like, is my biological mother going to be there? And he's like, what did your mother do now? Blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, listen, thank you for the invitation. Like, I really appreciate it, but unfortunately, I don't know you, and I do not want to put myself in a situation where I'm surrounded by other people that I don't know. But if you want a relationship with me, we can like go out for coffee or something and meet and whatever else. Like, I'm totally fine with that. And I ended up calling my grandmother by her like name, real name. And he did not like that. He got super offended by that. He was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm family. This is ridiculous. Like, this is your mother, blah, 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 blah. Like, we're family. Your blood. You used to call her Ma, not her real name. Like, don't disrespect her like that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, nope, that's a red flag. We're done with this conversation. And then again, I said, yeah, I don't want a relationship with you because this is completely uncalled for. I wonder if I still have the text messages. This would be interesting. Uno momento, por favor, please. Really don't know if Facebook could load. I do. I do still have the text messages. Oh shit. Okay. We're going to read them off. Hey, Migdalia, I hope I got the right Migdalia, but if I do, I'm your uncle blank. And if I am right and I did find you, then you are my monkey. Right. And I miss your growing up, but that doesn't mean I have to keep missing things, and neither do you. So I'm inviting you to Thanksgiving dinner at mine and my fiance's home. If you care to come and join your lost family, just ask for the address and I'll send it to you. Love you and terribly miss you. Be safe. I said, hello, that all depends on if you are in contact with my biological mother. He said, what did your mother do now? I said, that doesn't answer the question. He said, I am kinda, but I don't talk to your mother directly though, and I didn't text to get caught up in family drama or stupidity. I simply asked if you wanted to come to Thanksgiving. Will my sister be there, aka your mother? I don't know. Was she invited? Yes, she is family. So is your sister and your uncles. It's up to you if you care to come or not. I said, she's had people try to message me before. He said, well, your mother and I don't get along, and this is my doing, but denying her a family function over whatever our difference may be, I will not do. So it's your choice, come or don't. I miss you, but you're grown and can make your own decisions. He sent me the address. That's where dinner will be Thursday. My girlfriend and I, our home. I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I do think about you guys a lot. You, as in my uncles and cousins, I have very vague memories. Last time I saw you was after you got hit by a car and came to live with, insert grandma's name, and my sister and I. I probably won't come. It has nothing to do with you personally, but it's been a very long time, and a relationship like this takes time before it progresses to family dinners, if that makes sense. I appreciate the invite, and thank you for thinking of me. I just like being cautious. He said, well, time doesn't change who family is, and dinner, especially Thanksgiving, is to make up for lost time. But hey, you do you. What's another holiday lost? We are going to live forever, right? And how dare you call your grandmother her full name? That's disrespectful of you. And baby, I lived there the whole time looking after you, your sister, and my mother. And one you also called Ma. Look, the past is where it is. No one can change it, but you can make a better outcome for the future. And again, the choice falls to you, but only if you choose to. No one can make that choice for you. You have the address. I hope you change your mind to change our future. I said, no, thank you. I've lived 16 years without you all, and I'll be happy living the rest of my life without you. Judging from your responses, you're just as crazy as my mother. And then I blocked him. Like, he started off really nice. He started off very, like, I don't know, like, family's family. Like, yes, I totally understand. I totally get it. But, like, that last one, that was because here's the thing, when you say no to people like that, they turn it around on you and just like make it worse. It's like night and day. Okay, it's never consistent. It's like, oh yeah, like I totally get it, I totally understand, whatever. Like I how old was I, like 22? Me as a 22-year-old girl, I'm not going to go to a random house where I don't know a bunch of people. Like I don't, maybe I'm just paranoid, but I was just thinking of my safety. So if you want the reconnection, approach slowly, consider and navigate the expectations, the triggers. And you have to understand that reconciliation may be difficult, and it's okay if it doesn't look like a perfect relationship. But I set boundaries straight away within that conversation. I was like, I will not do this. Like, I really don't want to be in this, middle ground, whatever. I set that boundary with my sister, and we have had a relationship pretty much ever since, which I was kind of mean to her at first, because I was like, oh my god, this is another fucking person who my biological mother has gotten to text me, blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of paranoid with that aspect. But, she texted me, we talked for a bit, we chatted, and like I basically told her, no, I don't want a relationship with you. And then I think a few months later, I ended up changing my mind, and I ended up meeting her at Leo's, Coney Island, in Clinton Township, I think. Yeah, somewhere around there. and we've had a relationship ever since. So it definitely takes a hot minute, but it's important to have those boundaries. You never know what someone is up to. You never know if somebody is going to go behind your back, try to do something, put you in harm's way, sell you out. Like, you don't know. So you have to be careful, especially in the situations where you haven't seen them for a long time and whatever else. Like, you have to tell people where you're going. Um, don't do it in secret. And it's okay to have those thoughts of, I wonder how they are. I wonder who they are. Like, I had a cousin who called me Pichu. Don't know what it meant, but definitely had a cousin who called me Pichu, and I thought it was cute. Do I think about her from time to time? Yeah. I also had a cousin, I think my uncle was a doctor or something, and I had another one who was a cop. The uncle who was a doctor of some sort, he actually ended up living in Detroit with his wife and my two cousins. And when I tell you that they were very well off, they were very well off, okay? I'm talking about a little fish tank, not even a little fish tank, an aquarium, in the wall, a waterbed, like, holy shit. I mean, to me, as a 6-year-old kid, like, you're living rich. You are living rich. And I remember I had a cousin, Isabella, something like that. And I would go over there a couple of times, hang out with them, spend the night. And I remember my aunt being beautiful. Like, I just remember her being so stunning. For the life of me, I cannot remember their names whatsoever, but I think about them from time to time. I do. And I think it's okay for us to do that. Now, if we're talking about other aspects of abandonment, I think, those friendship breakups or relationships that have those issues, or like you feel abandoned, which one of my exes did. Pugsley always brought up the fact that he felt abandoned by me, and I've come to learn that I think I have avoidant issues. Like, I tend to avoid as a bad habit, so it tends to cause the whole abandonment type issues. And I had another thought on the tip of my tongue. Like, sometimes I'll do things, or like I'll go quiet if me and my girlfriend, I think in the beginning of our relationship, if I went quiet and like didn't really speak to her, she would feel abandoned by me in those instances. So I've really tried to work on the aspect of like coming into the argument a lot more quicker, not trying to avoid it and move on and just ignore it, because I don't know. I don't want her to feel abandoned, and sometimes, like, I need a fucking minute to process because I'm an emotional person, and it's a lot harder to say, like, oh, I need a minute, because she wants to keep going instead of give me a minute. So we've really been learning how to do that more. And it also helps me a lot that understanding the lesbian relationships, like, people will take years. I mean, even heterosexual relationships, I'm sure it takes years for people to learn how to communicate, because it's a tough thing. It really is. But, the aspects of being abandoned is kind of the same process a little bit. Like, you can choose whether or not to reconcile. You can choose whether or not, like, you want this person in your life. You can choose to walk away, like I did with Penny. It's really up to you and healing, and people are going to leave you in your life. That's just how it goes. That's just normal life things that happen to just about everyone, and it sucks, but you have to roll with it. Sometimes it's not fair, but people aren't going to treat you fairly, okay? If you have a great heart and you're generous and doing all these things, like, yeah, it's gonna fucking suck, but if you have one of those instances like I was talking about with Pugsley where they think that you abandoned them, it wasn't even abandonment in my instance, like, and I'm going to talk about it in full depth because I literally have a timeline wrote out of everything that happened in that relationship, and we're going to dive deep because I had a lot of fucking issues after that relationship and during that relationship, and it taught me a lot, but it also fucking sucked. And if I can help somebody who has similar types of situations like that relationship, please use it and learn from my mistakes because goddamn. But he felt abandoned after the relationship, and like the last text message he ever sent me, one of them, he was like, people don't abandon you, you abandon people. And in my reasoning being is that was a toxic and borderline abusive relationship. Like, he may have not done it physically, but the emotional and mental like abuse was there, and it fucking sucked, and I had to do what was best for me. Like, it wasn't even abandoning him. Like, by staying with him, I was abandoning myself, and I was done abandoning myself. So I left, and you just have to do what's best for you. Doesn't mean you're abandoning somebody, okay? Abandonment may have shaped your past, but it does not have to control your future. And, you know, the whole self-doubt and everything. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, what are the things that I like about myself? What is this? A, B, C, and D. And just look at it that standpoint, okay? You have to find the reasons that you love yourself. That's what builds confidence. Or if you have like a favorite character, look at your favorite characters and be like, okay, but why do I like them? Do I have those same tendencies? We typically like our favorite characters in movies, books, and TV shows for a specific reason. It's because we either have the same moral aspects as they do, we feel for them on a deeper level, we relate to them. So I think as an easy way to start off for you to build self-love and self-confidence and, you know, just get in tune with yourself, definitely do that as like an exercise. I don't know why I never thought of that before, but yeah, it's never about you, okay? It is not your fault. It's never your fault. You were a kid, you were young. People just do shitty things, and that's what happens. It's not your fault. Shitty things happen, and we can't control them. What we can control is how we respond to them and how we heal from them on a healthy aspect, okay? Always choose the healthier option, because the unhealthy, toxic option just puts you down in a spiral and takes you down the wrong path, and nobody wants that either, because let's be honest, drugs are fucking expensive. Alcohol is fucking expensive. Drinking your life away, hella expensive. Journaling, get a journal for $5 and a pen in your mind. Boom, free. Not even free, $5. Like, healthier options are so much less expensive than the unhealthy options. So, you know, just always take that reminder that it's never your fault. And, you know, it's always on the adult, because they are an adult and you were a child. That's all I gotta say. So that is the end of this episode. If you guys really liked it, enjoyed it, you know what to do, share it, send it to somebody, you know, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow the Spotify account. If you guys are interested in purchasing products such as jewelry, or anything else that I have on my Etsy page, there's a link in my Instagram bio and TikTok. So my Instagram is Migdalia Bonilla, Migdalia, B as in boy, Onillaa, or Life with Migdalia, Lifewithmigdalia. God, it's so exhausting having a long fucking name, but whatever. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And like my TikTok and whatever else is pretty much the same. So if you want to give a follow or whatever, do what you gotta do. I appreciate your guys' support, always. If you're interested in listening to, a different topic or have any questions or whatever, don't be scared to comment something or, DM me. More so comment, okay? I look at my comments more than anything. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great week and I will see you next time. Love you, bye. That's all I gotta say. So that is the end of this episode. If you guys really liked it, enjoyed it, you know what to do, share it, send it to somebody, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow the Spotify account. If you guys are interested in purchasing products such as jewelry, or anything else that I have on my Etsy page, there's a link in my Instagram bio and TikTok. So my Instagram is Migdalia Bonilla, Migdalia, B as in boy, Onillaa, or Life with Migdalia, Lifewithmigdalia. God, it's so exhausting having a long fucking name, but whatever. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And like my TikTok and whatever else is pretty much the same. So if you want to give a follow or whatever, do what you gotta do. I appreciate your guys' support, always. If you're interested in listening to, a different topic or have any questions or whatever, don't be scared to comment something or, DM me. More so comment, okay? I look at my comments more than anything. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great week and I will see you next time. Love you, bye.